Hi, this is Tina. I'm bringing a quick little spring garland to you if you want to get it done, hopefully before Easter, but if not, it's okay. It'll be spring for a little while. So here I am. I'm putting a spring green cord around a store-bought string of crystal beads. You can get those at Amazon, or if you go to like Christmas clearance sales at the end of the year, sometimes you can buy this stuff, by the roll, by the yard or whatever. It just so happens I had a whole bunch of this just before Christmas I bought from Amazon. And all I'm doing is putting a single crochet in between them, and a chain stitch between them, and a single crochet in between each one to put it around the thread that connects them. So there's a chain right there, and then there's a single crochet, and that's how you do it. So here we are at the end, and I'm going to put 3 chains, and that will go around the last bead, and then you'll put a single crochet in between each one with a chain 1 after that single crochet, so that you just keep repeating that all the way down. If you don't have any crystals, you could have beads. If you don't have beads, you could just do a single crochet foundation row, because that'll give you some give and some thickness. Or you could try doing an I-cord. This is a puff flower. This is the center. I'm using some yellow scrap yarn. Everything in this tutorial is just scrap acrylic yarn, and I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook. So I just did 3 chains, and now I want to start doing the puff stitch in the first chain. So you just wrap it around and pull it up. Wrap it around and pull it up. You do that a couple of times. This is really thin, like a sport weight, I think. So I did quite a few for this puff in the center, just to give it some fullness. Do 3 chains after you've made it as fluffy as you like, and then go and put a slip stitch into the first chain. So the petals, you just put your hook through any of the chains around the perimeter of your puff stitch center. Slip stitch, and then you do 3 slip stitch and then 2 more chains. Then you go back into the chain that you put your slip stitch in, and you do your puff stitches. This is a thicker yarn, so I don't do quite as many of the puff stitches. I just do like I did 4 or 5. But yeah, I just kind of eyeballed it until it looked like it was enough on the hook. And then you do a slip stitch to anchor it all together, and then you do 3 chains. And then you go back into the spot where you did all your puff stitches and your first slip stitch. It's all in the same chain. Slip stitch, and then you slip stitch to the next chain along the row. It can be kind of tricky to find your your next chain, especially with slip stitches. And do 3 chains, and then you do your puff stitches down into that same hole and same chain that you did your first slip stitch in. And remember, just pull them up so that they meet the top of your original 3 chains. Slip stitch and then do 3 chains, and then anchor it back down in the same spot where you started with a slip stitch, and then slip stitch over to the next stitch to begin again. If you want to put in more than 5 petals, you can do that, but it gets crowded pretty quick on this flower with these puff stitches, but you can put in as many as you like. This is the bunting. It's a single crochet foundation row with 3 rows of split shells. This is the single crochet foundation row. If you need more instruction or details on how to do this, I have a video that's devoted just to this foundation row if you need it. I'll link it below. So this is the foundation row. Like I said, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. You can do 12 chain stitches, chain 1, and then just do 12 single crochets back along the chain in the back bumps. But I did 12 stitches here in the single crochet, the foundation single crochet. So you can do it however you like, because this is crochet your way. So we're going to make a stacked single crochet twice, one on top of the other to the level of a double crochet. And then we're going to put 2 more double crochets into that same space, the first chain. The first single crochet space. Then we're going to skip 2, and in the third stitch we will put a single crochet, skip 2, and in the third do a double crochet. And then we're going to do 2 more double crochets into that same space. So it's a total of 3 double crochets in this one space. Then we do a single, do a chain, and then 3 more double crochets into that same space. So you have a split shell, split fan. So you have 3 on one side, 1 chain, and then 3 double crochets on the other side. And then skip 2, and in the third put your single crochet to anchor it down. Then do double crochet into the last chain space. You want to put 3 of them in there in that same space. You want to turn your work. Well, that's the first row of shells. A half on either side and 1 full one in the middle. So you turn your work, and then just put a single crochet directly into the first space. Chain 1. Do a double crochet into the center space between the 6 double crochets from the previous row. Just go right into that space. Do your 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then do 3 more double crochets back into that same space. Do a single crochet to anchor down that other side of the fan, and you're done that row. Do another single crochet after you've turned. Go around the whole thing, just do it right in the space. Just another single crochet, and then in the first part of the double crochet, just do a quick single crochet and then do 3 more double crochets. So you're putting that single crochet at the tip of the fan that you did in the previous row, just to anchor it down. Then do 3 double crochets, then a chain 1. Oh no, this is the picot. I'm sorry, not chain 1. We're at the bottom already. Yeah, it's a picot instead of a chain 1. And then do 3 more double crochets. So this row, instead of doing a space with a chain 1, you do a picot to get a little bit of a point on the bottom. So it looks more like a triangle. So it's like my last double crochet, and I'm going to end it on the tip of the other shell below. Just do a little single crochet in that. Then do a single crochet in the space, and then do a single crochet in the turning chain from the previous row. And actually it looks like I'm just gonna slip stitch it and then do a do an invisible join. You don't have to do this invisible join, but I like it because it makes the edge look a little neater. And then you can just hide the tails. So here are the eggs. They're in different sizes depending on how many rows of the white that you decide to do. I did these little circles of yellow earlier, and I don't know what happened to the footage. I apologize. That footage is gone, but I believe it was just like a chain 4, and then single crochets in every going around for, I think it was 8. It was just 8 single crochets. Now, because this yarn was really skinny compared to the other yarn I was using, I did a Navajo ply, which is a 3-ply chain technique, and I may do another video just showing how to do that so that you can use thin yarns with thick yarns, and then you can just crochet directly and make a 3-ply. But let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that video on how to do I'll explain it later. Anyway, here I'm just doing single crochets, 2 in every stitch around. Just doubling it up so it doesn't curl. And the white, so it looks like the yellow is the yolk and the white part is the white part of the egg, if you were so inclined to make these types of eggs for your holiday celebrations. So here I am at the end. I'm just going to keep going around rather than changing direction or leveling up. Just wanted to show you that's the first round, and that was 2 crochet in every space. And now I've leveled up again. I'm just doing single crochets. And I think that yarn was getting on my nerves, so I just cut it. Oh yeah, and I had to cinch up my centers because I ran that end yarn around and around a little bit. Just so I could cinch it up. It wasn't a magic circle. But you could do a magic circle if you wanted to. So now I'm doing a half double crochet in the same space with that single crochet. Now I'm doing a double crochet in the next space. Now I'm doing an extended double crochet where you just go through 1, then you go through 2, and then 2. That's an extended double crochet. And then this is a treble crochet where you go through 2 for each one in the next space. And then back to the extended double crochet in the same space. So I'm still doing 2 in every space. I'm just changing the height of the stitches so that they get a little bit longer and then they get short again. But still just 2 in every space. So that's the double crochet. And this should be the half double. And then back to singles. This is also a situation where if you want to go around again, you can. You can go all the way around the bottom and make the big egg, or you could stop here. I just wanted to show you the different sized eggs that I had made. And that's the medium size egg that I just made. Now the small egg, I didn't do an entire ring of single crochets and then do the stretch. That one, that little teeny one, I just started with the single crochets, did my increases and then decreases, and then met it at the beginning. So the large egg goes all the way across and adds an entire row all the way around. And then I'm going to do the invisible join. You can do this with a sewing needle if you like, when you do your ends, you can do it that way. I just do it really fast with my hook before I weave in my ends. And if you'd like me to show you how to do that, I can also make a video. Just mention in the comments below how to do an invisible join, and I can show you that. So pick a nice contrasting color for your colorful edge of your egg. I'm doing a crab stitch. It's a single crochet just done backwards. I think it's also called like the reverse single crochet, but I just like the crab stitch. Now you see what I did there? I just went to the right into the space that I would normally go to the left. This time I'm going to the right. I twist it, pull it up, and then just hook the yarn through one time. It's just a single crochet in reverse, and it creates an interesting edge. It has a little bit of a ruffle to it. I hope that you enjoy that. You can do single crochets the normal way in the contrasting color of your choice. But I hope you try this at least once because it makes a very interesting edge. Okay, I'm gonna get to the end here, and you make one more stitch in the place where you came up from, and then you tie it off to itself. Here I'm just pulling it through. I'm gonna just do one slip stitch just to kind of tie it off, and then I just sew it in the back so that last loop goes around. Okay, so I've put my all of my little flowers and things on my bunting cord with stitch markers. I couldn't think of that word. So that I know where everything is going to go. And now I'm getting the same color that I did my base of my garland with, which is that spring green. I'm going to add some, very basic curly leaves and stems. And this will connect my pieces to the base. Now what I ended up doing was I doubled my base back on itself. So you can see I've got a pretty thick base there. Crystal is 2 layers of crystals, 2 layers of crochet. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. But I just felt like it would look a little more substantial that way. And then I'm just slip stitching in one side of it until I get to a spot where I think it looks a little bare, and I'm going to do a little leaf that's just done with increases along a chain of 8. So when I get to 8 chain stitches, then I'm just going to do a slip stitch in to the one next to the hook. I don't know what happened there. It's supposed to be a slip stitch, trust me. Then a chain or a single crochet, then a half double crochet, and then a double crochet. Oh, it looks like an extended double I did there. Then a double crochet. Oh, there's my double. So I think I did 2 extended doubles, then a regular double, and then a half double, and then a slip stitch. And this is not, a hard and fast pattern. Do what you want. Make the leaves look the way you want them to look. I was just doing a very quick increase and decrease along a chain. So now I'm going to do the flower. I just slip stitch along until I get to the next motif. And this one is one of my little flowers. So I did a couple of chains. I want to say I did like 8, maybe 12 chains. And I slip stitched it into the top of the flower. Now you can hide your ends before or after you start joining the motifs together. It's up to you. One thing I did on each of the flowers is as I was slip stitching back up, I did a teeny tiny leaf so that, there it is. I don't know if you can see it. It just looks like I was just finishing off the leaf there and then continuing to slip stitch all the way back up. So I slip stitched the flower on, slip stitched a couple of stitches up. Then I made a leaf off of that stem, and then slip stitched continued up to the main join. And one thing I like about the puff flowers is they're pretty decent either front or back. They don't look too bad either way. So that's one of the reasons why I chose the puff flower as my flower for this particular garland. So now I'm just going to slip stitch across the base and go to the egg. And I was debating on whether to just attach the eggs directly or to give a little bit of a stem. So I think I ended up going with a little bit of a stem. And then there's another leaf that I I just made directly off of the base, off the garland base. I did some more slip stitches across, and then I think I did a couple of chains just to have the eggs at a different height than the triangle bunting. I just slip stitched the top of the egg. No, actually, it looks like I did a whole single crochet, and then I did slip stitches up the short little chain back to the bunting base. So now I slip stitched across, and I got to where the bunting had been pinned to the base, and I just slip stitched them on. Yeah, there was that flat edge on the buntings because I had used that single crochet foundation row. So I had that nice edge to work off of. If you do yours with a chain and you go back through it with single crochets, make sure you use the back bump so that you can get a nice flat edge like this when you're ready to join. And this is it. I have continued along, adding little curlicue leaves as I see there's a gap, making little stems with some leaves on the flowers, and putting the bunting directly on. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.